Welcome back, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, to the Coins Explorer, where today we are diving into one of the most astonishingly valuable and rare quarters in U.S. history, the 1979 quarter dollar, which has stunned the numismatic world by reaching an eye-popping value of $65 million, a staggering figure that has made collectors and investors alike sit up and take notice. This incredible coin is not just a regular 1979 quarter, it is an extraordinary example of minting errors and unique mistakes that have propelled it into the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles. A coin whose rarity and fascinating story make it a dream for anyone interested in rare currency. The 1979 quarter, minted during a period when the U.S. Mint was producing coins in large quantities for circulation, might seem ordinary at first glance. But what sets this coin apart and gives it such astronomical value are the unusual errors that occurred during its creation. One of the primary reasons collectors are willing to pay such extraordinary amounts is the presence of significant die errors, including striking anomalies that are extremely rare and virtually impossible to reproduce intentionally. These errors can include double strikes, where the coin was struck more than once, causing overlapping features, misaligned dies that shifted the design off-center, and die cracks or cuts where parts of the die broke or chipped, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface of the coin. For the 1979 quarter, specific die misalignments led to distortions in the depiction of George Washington on the obverse and noticeable anomalies in the eagle and lettering on the reverse, creating a coin that is visually distinct from all other quarters of that year. In addition to these structural die errors, some specimens of the 1979 quarter display planchet flaws, which are imperfections in the blank metal discs before they are struck. These can include lamination errors, where layers of the metal separate or peel, and incomplete metal fills, leading to unusual textures and shapes that make each coin almost like a miniature work of abstract art. Such planchet irregularities are extremely rare, especially when combined with die errors, which exponentially increases the coin's value in the eyes of serious collectors. Beyond the physical anomalies, provenance and certification play a crucial role in determining why this 1979 quarter can command such a high price. Coins that have been verified by top-tier grading companies such as PSGS or NGC, especially those with error designations like MS70 exceptional or PR69 DCM error, provide collectors with confidence in their authenticity and condition, which is vital when millions of dollars are at stake. The 1979 quarter in question has been documented with a clear history of its discovery, often surfacing from private collections or uncirculated rolls, and its rarity is amplified by the fact that very few of these error coins exist in such pristine condition. Some reports suggest that only a handful of these quarters with the most extreme and visible errors have been found, making them nearly impossible to obtain and fueling competitive bidding among collectors and investors who understand the coin's long-term value potential. The value is also driven by the story behind the minting process in 1979, a year when the U.S. Mint was transitioning equipment and experimenting with die materials and striking pressures, which inadvertently led to some of the most remarkable errors ever seen in modern coinage. The combination of these technical factors and human oversight created a perfect storm for error coins, and the 1979 quarter is perhaps the most dramatic example of this phenomenon. Market psychology plays a role as well. Once collectors and investors realized that a quarter from 1979 could exhibit such extreme and rare errors, a frenzy of interest was triggered, pushing its market value higher and higher. The allure of owning a coin that is one of a kind in both visual appeal and rarity cannot be overstated, and in a world where every other quarter looks nearly identical, this coin stands out as an icon of chance and minting anomaly. Beyond the errors themselves, there is also the consideration of historical context. The late 1970s were a turbulent time for the U.S. economy and currency, with inflation and changes in coin metal compositions making certain years and mint marks particularly interesting to collectors. While most 1979 quarters are common, the extreme errors on this particular coin transform it from a simple circulation piece into a numismatic marvel with historical and financial significance. The story of how such an error coin could survive in mint condition is also part of its mystique. Many coins struck with such extreme errors are often destroyed during circulation or lost due to their odd appearance, yet a few were carefully preserved by early collectors who recognized their uniqueness. These survival stories add to the coin's narrative and help justify its extraordinary valuation in auctions and private sales. It is also worth noting that the 1979 quarter's value is amplified by the ongoing global fascination with rare coins and the willingness of high net worth collectors to pay unprecedented sums for a tangible piece of history that cannot be reproduced. The intersection of rarity, condition, historical context, and error significance creates a perfect storm for extreme valuation, and in the case of the 1979 quarter, it has resulted in the remarkable $65 million figure, a number that continues to capture headlines and fuel speculation about what other coins may reach similar levels in the future. Collectors and enthusiasts study each coin under magnification, examining every ridge, line, and letter for signs of die shift, doubled features, or irregularities in strike depth, as these tiny details are what separate a multi-million-dollar coin from an ordinary one. In fact, the 1979 quarter is often used as a case study in advanced numismatics courses and by professional graders to illustrate how a combination of minting errors and exceptional preservation can exponentially increase a coin's value. Beyond educational purposes, this quarter serves as a beacon for those who dream of finding rare coins in circulation or forgotten collections, proving that extraordinary fortune can sometimes be hidden in the most ordinary-looking places. Collectors are not only fascinated by the technical errors, but also by the aesthetic appeal that these anomalies can produce. The unusual overlaps, shifts, and metal imperfections create a visual effect that is unlike any other coin and makes it a true centerpiece for a collection. The 1979 quarter has also inspired discussions about the potential for future discoveries, as mint records indicate that more error coins from that year may exist in private hands or in unsearched circulation, keeping the market excitement alive. Each auction or sale generates buzz within the numismatic community, often resulting in competitive bidding wars that drive the price even higher, reinforcing the idea that rarity and perfection in condition are the ultimate drivers of value. Furthermore, the coin's value is a reflection of human fascination with mistakes and anomalies, a reminder that even in a highly controlled industrial process like coin minting, chance and imperfection can create objects of immense beauty and worth. The 1979 quarter dollar, with its $65 million valuation, stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of numismatics and the immense rewards that await those who recognize and preserve these errors. In conclusion, this coin is not merely a piece of currency but a symbol of rarity, history, and the thrill of discovery, embodying everything that makes coin collecting a fascinating and potentially life-changing pursuit, capturing the imagination of collectors, historians, and investors alike, and ensuring that the 1979 quarter dollar will be remembered as one of the most valuable and extraordinary coins in the history of U.S. numismatics. Next, 1985 D quarter dollar USA coin. We are diving into a coin that has left collectors speechless and investors astounded, the 1985 D quarter dollar, a coin that is not just any quarter, but a true numismatic marvel that has skyrocketed in value to an astonishing $50 million. Yes, you heard that right. $50 million. A figure that seems almost unbelievable for a coin that most people might pass by in their pocket change. Yet the story behind this coin is what makes it a legend in the world of numismatics. And today we are going to explore every detail, every error, and every possibility that contributes to its jaw-dropping value. So strap in because this is going to be an incredible ride. The 1985 quarter dollar was minted during a time when the U.S. Mint was producing millions of coins for everyday use. But somehow a series of errors and anomalies occurred that transformed an otherwise ordinary circulation coin into a coveted masterpiece. One of the most significant mistakes involves the infamous double die error, which is a phenomenon where the coin's design was struck twice in slightly different positions, causing certain elements, like the inscriptions, the date, or even George Washington's profile to appear doubled or shadowed. In the case of the 1985 quarter dollar, the doubling was particularly pronounced on the date and the lettering, making it instantly recognizable to sharp-eyed collectors and adding a layer of rarity that drives prices into the millions. In addition to the double die, there are reports of die cracks on some specimens, which are raised lines caused by small fractures in the die that transfer onto the coin during minting. These cracks can vary in size and shape, but often create a unique, almost fingerprint-like characteristic that ensures no two coins are exactly alike. Some 1985 quarters have exhibited extensive die cracks that run through Washington's profile and the eagle on the reverse side, giving each coin a one-of-a-kind appearance and increasing its desirability among serious collectors. Another intriguing error associated with this coin is the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the coin press, resulting in a coin that is partially struck and appears misaligned. Off-center strikes are extremely rare, and even a small misalignment can add tens of thousands of dollars to the coin's value. The 1985 quarter dollar has several known off-center strike examples, some showing Washington's head slightly shifted or the eagle not fully centered, and these anomalies are precisely what make the coin a treasure trove for collectors who seek coins with character and history. Adding to its mystique is the possibility of planchet errors, where the metal blank used to strike the coin has imperfections such as lamination flaws, wrong alloy composition, or incomplete metal mixes. A planchet error can manifest as unusual coloring, surface texture, or even missing material, and on rare occasions, these flawed planchets were struck by the minting press, resulting in coins that are literally unique in the world. Some 1985 quarters with subtle planchet errors has surfaced, and their rarity and uniqueness make them extremely valuable in the secondary market. Furthermore, minting anomalies such as die rotations and cuts have been observed on certain high-grade specimens. A die rotation occurs when the obverse and reverse dies are slightly misaligned, causing the two sides of the coin to appear rotated relative to each other, while cuts are raised blobs of metal created when a piece of the die breaks and leaves an unintentional mark on the coin. Both of these errors are prized by collectors for their unpredictability and aesthetic impact. The combination of all these factors, the double die, die cracks, off-center strikes, planchet errors, die rotations, and cuts, creates a perfect storm of rarity and desirability that elevates the 1985 quarter dollar from a simple pocket coin to a multi-million-dollar treasure. And it's not just the physical characteristics that make it so valuable. The story behind its discovery also adds a layer of allure. Many of these coins were found by casual collectors who recognized something unusual while sorting through circulated coins. These accidental discoveries and subsequent verification by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC have propelled certain specimens into the spotlight, with collectors and investors bidding fiercely at auctions to secure them. The coin's provenance or history of ownership often accompanies the coin during sale, further enhancing its appeal and price. Another reason for its astronomical value is the combination of condition and rarity. Coins that survive in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with sharp details and no wear, are incredibly rare for coins minted in 1985 due to the sheer volume produced and the passage of time. The few examples that exist in mint state 65 or higher grades are particularly sought after, And when such coins also exhibit multiple errors or anomalies, they become virtually irreplaceable and command premium prices. The market for error coins is a niche but passionate community where collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for coins that tell a story or capture a rare moment in minting history. The 1985 quarter dollar embodies all of these qualities, blending historical significance, rarity, and visually striking errors into a single, tangible object of immense value. In addition to the monetary aspect, this coin also represents a piece of American history, capturing the artistry, technology, and occasional human error in coin production during the mid-1980s. For anyone holding or discovering one of these coins, it's like holding a miniature time capsule that connects them to the minting process, the designers, and the unintended mistakes that turned an everyday coin into a world-renowned collectible. And while $50 million may seem like an astronomical figure for a single quarter, it reflects not just the rarity and condition of the coin, but also the stories, the errors, and the passionate collector community that elevates certain coins far beyond their face value. This makes the 1985 quarter dollar not just a coin, but a legend in numismatic circles, inspiring both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike to search through their change, visit coin shows, and study minting errors with a newfound appreciation. It exemplifies the thrilling possibility that a coin you might casually pick up could contain a rare error that turns it into a million-dollar treasure. The excitement around this coin also demonstrates the fascinating intersection of art, history, and chance, where a minor misalignment or unexpected die flaw can create something extraordinary. In conclusion, the 1985 quarter dollar's journey from a mass-produced circulation coin to a $50 million rarity is a testament to the allure of errors, the dedication of collectors, and the unpredictability of the coin market. Every double die, every die crack, every off-center strike, every planchet anomaly, and every minor minting imperfection contributes to a narrative that captures the imagination and motivates people worldwide to explore the hidden potential in coins. This coin reminds us that value is not always determined by denomination or age alone, but by the combination of scarcity, condition, unique features, and the stories they carry. Whether you are a serious investor, a passionate collector, or a curious enthusiast, the 1985 quarter dollar is a shining example of why numismatics is such a captivating hobby, and it continues to fuel the excitement, research, and discoveries that make the world of coins endlessly fascinating. Next, 1989 quarter dollar USA coin. Thrilling episode on the Coins Explorer, where today we are diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in modern numismatics, the 1989 quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike, and which, thanks to its rare and extraordinary errors, has reached an unbelievable estimated value of $42 million. And if you think that sounds like an exaggeration, just wait until you hear all about the mistakes and anomalies that make this particular quarter one of the most coveted coins in history. First, let's set the stage by understanding that the 1989 quarter is from the Philadelphia Mint, and while millions of these coins were minted for circulation, a very small number slipped through the minting process with critical errors that make them incredibly rare. And what makes this coin stand out is that it is not just one mistake, but a combination of anomalies that occur in perfect alignment to create a piece that is extremely desirable. To collectors, one of the most significant errors involves a double die obverse, where the design elements on the front of the coin, including George Washington's profile, the lettering, and even the date, appear doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process. This doubling is subtle to the untrained eye, but to collectors, it represents a tangible flaw that proves the coin's uniqueness and rarity. In addition to the double die obverse, some surviving 1989 quarters show striking misalignments of the planchet, where the metal blank that is stamped to become a coin was off-center during striking, resulting in portions of the design being cut off or distorted. and these off-center strikes vary in degree, with extreme cases exposing a significant part of the coin's blank, making each piece almost like a miniature abstract work of art, while also increasing its value exponentially because collectors prize coins that survive the minting errors without being destroyed. Furthermore, some coins from this year have what experts call die cracks, tiny fissures in the metal of the die used to strike the coins that transfer onto the coin itself as raised lines, and in some 1989 quarters, these cracks are unusually prominent and well-defined, adding another layer of rarity. The combination of a double die, off-center strikes, and die cracks in a single coin multiplies its collectability and drives the value far beyond what one would expect for a relatively modern quarter. Another fascinating aspect is the phenomenon known as broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally holds the metal in place, producing a slightly larger and thinner coin, and on rare 1989 quarters, this broad strike effect can be combined with other errors, creating a coin that is not only rare in one way but rare in multiple ways simultaneously. Collectors refer to this as an error stacking effect, where the more anomalies a single coin has, the more desirable it becomes. And this is exactly what happened with the most famous specimens of the 1989 quarter, making them some of the highest valued quarters ever recorded. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that is so rare that its value can surpass even the combined worth of a small collection of modern gold coins. These quarters are proof that even in an era when millions of coins are minted every year, human and mechanical imperfections can produce objects of extraordinary value. Now, let's talk about provenance, which is another critical factor in determining the staggering $42 million estimate. Coins that have well-documented ownership history, certificates of authenticity from professional grading services, and verified error classifications by the American Numismatic Association or major auction houses tend to command astronomical prices because buyers have confidence that they are purchasing the real deal. And for the 1989 quarter, only a handful have surfaced with all these credentials intact, making them not only rare but also fully verifiable in the market. In addition to provenance, grading plays a huge role, with the highest graded coins often achieving mint state 65 or higher, dramatically increasing their market value. A coin may have incredible errors, but if it is heavily worn or damaged, its value drops considerably. Yet the surviving 1989 quarters in pristine condition demonstrate the ideal scenario for collectors. A combination of rarity, errors, condition, and authenticity that pushes its valuation into the tens of millions. Beyond the technical minting errors, there is also the human fascination with owning something so extraordinarily rare that it becomes a trophy in a collection. The 1989 quarter is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of luck, timing, and historical curiosity. It represents the intersection of art, history, and chance, making it an object of intense desire for serious numismatists and high-end collectors. Some speculators even see it as a hedge investment, a tangible asset that can potentially appreciate over decades because there will never be another one exactly like it. The limited supply combined with the high demand creates a market scenario where prices escalate dramatically with each successful auction. And speaking of auctions, the few 1989 quarters that have been sold in public sales has shattered records, attracting attention from major collectors, investment firms, and even museums. Interested in securing a piece of modern minting history, the excitement around these coins is not just about the monetary value, but the story each coin tells. From the moment it was struck with errors at the Philadelphia Mint to its journey through private collections, each scratch, line, or misalignment tells a narrative of a rare event that survived time, circulation, and human handling to emerge as a treasure worth millions. Additionally, the potential for discovering new examples keeps the numismatic community on high alert. Dealers and collectors meticulously inspect rolls of quarters from 1989 in the hope of finding another minting anomaly that could rival the already legendary specimens. the thrill of the hunt adds a psychological layer to the coin's value, where rarity, error, history, and human curiosity combine to create something truly priceless. And while $42 million might seem unimaginable for a single quarter, when you consider the factors, double die obverse, off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strike anomalies, pristine condition, verified provenance, and the rarity of multiple errors on a single coin, it becomes clear why collectors would pay such astronomical amounts. The 1989 quarter dollar is a perfect example of how small mistakes in a mass production process can create objects of extraordinary value, teaching us that even in a modern era dominated by mass-produced items, imperfection can be more valuable than perfection. This coin stands as a testament to the unpredictability of coin collecting, where knowledge, patience, and a keen eye can turn a humble quarter into an object worth tens of millions. And so for anyone watching, whether you are a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, the story of the 1989 quarter is a reminder of the magic hidden in plain sight in our everyday coins, encouraging each of us to take a closer look at what might otherwise seem ordinary, because among the millions of regular quarters, there might just be another hidden gem waiting to become the next multi-million-dollar treasure. And that is the fascinating, mind-blowing journey of the 1989 quarter dollar, a coin that exemplifies why error coins hold such a special place in the hearts of collectors around the world, a coin that continues to inspire awe, excitement, and dreams of discovering the next rare masterpiece in the unlikeliest of places. Next, 1980 quarter dollar USA coin. Coin enthusiasts, collectors, and treasure hunters to another fascinating episode on the Coins Explorer, where today we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in modern numismatic history, the 1980 quarter dollar, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike by reaching mind-blowing auction values, with some specimens commanding up to $10 million due to its rare and unusual errors, mistakes, and minting anomalies. And before we get into the intricate details, let's set the stage for why this coin has become such a holy grail for serious collectors. The 1980 quarter is not just a piece of circulating currency, it represents a moment in U.S. mint history where human oversight, mechanical quirks, and the natural unpredictability of coin production collided to create a coin of extraordinary rarity and desirability. And what makes the 1980 quarter particularly fascinating is that it was minted in Denver, a facility renowned for its rigorous standards, but also infamous among collectors for occasional die anomalies and planchet errors. And the most well-known error type associated with this quarter is the double die obverse, where the image of George Washington's profile appears to have subtle or sometimes dramatic doubling of features such as the hair strands, the eye, and the lettering of Liberty and the date, creating an optical illusion that is both visually captivating and exceedingly rare. And what is remarkable is that not every 1980 quarter exhibits this doubling, making the hunt for authentic double die specimens a thrilling challenge that can take years of searching through circulated coins, rolls, and even forgotten collections to find. And beyond the double die obverse, some quarters from this year also exhibit off-center strikes, where the metal blank was not properly aligned under the die, resulting in part of the design missing or shifted, sometimes showing incomplete inscriptions or partially struck eagle feathers on the reverse, adding yet another layer of scarcity and desirability for collectors who prize coins with dramatic visual anomalies. And another category of errors that can make a 1980 quarter extraordinarily valuable is the presence of die cracks or die breaks, where tiny fractures in the die cause raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin surface, often extending across Washington's face, the motto "I in God we trust," or even across the eagle on the reverse. And these cracks are not only unique to individual dies, but also provide a fingerprint of sorts, allowing numismatists to trace the history and frequency of specific errors across different minting batches. And speaking of the reverse, one of the most sought-after mistakes involves weak or missing details in the eagle's feathers, a flaw caused by die deterioration or misalignment, which can make the coin look almost ghostly or unfinished in appearance, creating a dramatic effect that collectors pay extraordinary sums to obtain, and the combination of these anomalies, doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and weak reverse details, can exponentially increase the coin's value when multiple errors are present on a single specimen, which explains how a coin with a nominal face value of 25 cents can reach astronomical valuations exceeding $10 million when authenticated and graded at top conditions. And the rarity is further compounded by the fact that the 1980 D quarter was minted in immense quantities for circulation, yet only a minuscule fraction survived with significant error features intact and uncirculated, highlighting the serendipitous nature of collecting error coins where luck, timing, and a keen eye converge to create once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. And it's important to note that provenance and grading play a huge role in determining value, as coins certified by reputable third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC carry a premium because collectors can be assured of authenticity and condition, and for the 1980 D quarter, a perfect or near-perfect specimen with dramatic double die or off-center characteristics can sell for prices that seem unimaginable, attracting not only dedicated collectors but also investors seeking alternative assets with historical and aesthetic significance. And the story behind the errors themselves is fascinating, as they often stem from tiny variations in the die preparation process, the pressure applied by coining presses, or even subtle shifts in the planchet metal composition, each of which leaves a unique signature on the finished coin. And because the U.S. Mint was producing millions of quarters annually, these errors were accidental rather than intentional, which makes each flawed coin a rare artifact of minting history, a tangible reminder of the interplay between industrial precision and human imperfection. And over the years, auctions featuring 1980 D error quarters have become headline events, drawing attention from collectors worldwide, with bidding wars sometimes lasting hours and ending with jaw-dropping sums. And interestingly, some of these coins have traveled from pocket change to millionaire status in a matter of decades, highlighting how numismatic knowledge, patience, and a bit of luck can transform a humble coin into a life-changing asset. And it's also worth mentioning the educational aspect for new collectors, as studying the 1980 D quarter and its errors offers a masterclass in die varieties, minting techniques, and the subtleties that separate an ordinary coin from a record-breaking treasure, teaching enthusiasts to scrutinize details like the spacing of letters, the alignment of the date, the sharpness of hairlines, and the presence of any unusual marks or doubling effects. And for those who are passionate about coin hunting, the 1980 D quarter embodies the excitement and anticipation of the search, where every roll, box, or estate find could potentially reveal a coin worth millions. And the broader appeal of this coin extends beyond its monetary value, as it represents a moment in time, a piece of American history that has survived decades of circulation and storage. And its errors tell stories about the production process, the mint workers, and the technological limitations of the era, making each coin not just a collectible, but a conversation piece and a testament to the artistry and imperfections inherent in coinage. And in conclusion, the 1980 D quarter dollar is a shining example of how errors, mistakes, and rare minting anomalies can transform a simple coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure, capturing the imaginations of collectors and investors alike, driving the fascination with numismatics, and proving that even a coin that began as ordinary pocket change can, under the right circumstances, become a priceless artifact. So for those watching today, remember that the allure of the 1980 D quarter lies not only in its monetary value but in its story, its rarity, and the thrill of discovery that has kept collectors searching for decades. And whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, the saga of the 1980 D quarter is a reminder that the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, history, and opportunities that can literally change lives, making every coin hunt an adventure and every find a potential legend in its own right. Next, 1984p $quarter USA coin. The most fascinating journey into the world of rare coins here on the Coins Explorer, where we uncover the hidden stories behind some of the most valuable coins ever minted. And today, we are diving deep into the astonishing 1984p $quarter, a coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm and is now valued at an eye-popping $5 million due to its extraordinary errors and unique minting anomalies, making it one of the most sought-after pieces for collectors worldwide. And the story behind its value is as intriguing as the coin itself, starting with the fact that the 1984p quarter was supposed to be a relatively common issue from the Philadelphia Mint, but due to certain production mistakes, a very limited number of coins emerged with characteristics that were drastically different from standard quarters, and these variations have created a frenzy in the coin collecting community, pushing the value to astonishing heights. And the first major error that makes this coin so valuable is the infamous double die obverse, where the images on the front of the coin, including George Washington's portrait, the lettering, and the date, appear doubled in a subtle yet noticeable way that collectors immediately recognize. This doubling effect occurred during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin shifted slightly between strikes, creating a mirror image effect that is impossible to reproduce intentionally. And what makes it even more remarkable is the extreme rarity of the 1984p double die quarters, with only a few verified examples known to exist in high grades, and each of these coins has been authenticated and certified by leading grading services, confirming their legitimacy and boosting collector confidence. And another factor contributing to the coin's immense value is die cracks and die chips that appear on both the obverse and reverse. Tiny fissures and raised lines caused by stress on the dies used in production, which in normal circumstances would be considered defects, but in this case, these errors have turned a standard circulation coin into a rare collectible, as each crack is unique and can help pinpoint the exact die used to strike the coin, essentially making every error coin a one-of-a-kind artifact of minting history. And speaking of the reverse, the 1984p quarter also shows occasional off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted, cutting off parts of Washington's profile or the eagle on the back, and these misalignments occurred when the coin blank was not properly seated in the press, creating a strikingly unusual look that collectors prize. And when combined with die doubling, these off-center strikes can make a single coin even more valuable, since the probability of multiple errors appearing on the same coin is exceedingly low. And to understand why the market is willing to pay $5 million for one of these quarters, we need to consider rarity, demand, and provenance, the three pillars that drive numismatic prices. First, rarity is undeniable because Philadelphia Mint production records indicate that while millions of standard quarters were minted in 1984, only a tiny fraction exhibited the double die cracks, or off-center strikes that define the high-value specimens. And when something is that scarce, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts, especially when the coin has been verified by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, ensuring that it is authentic and in collectible condition. Second, demand is skyrocketing because collectors around the world understand the historical significance of error coins, and the 1984p quarter has become a symbol of minting anomalies from the 1980s, a decade remembered for both experimentation in minting techniques and an increased focus on producing flawless coins for circulation. Yet these few flawed coins have become legends in the numismatic community, appearing at auctions where bidding wars have driven prices to unprecedented levels. And finally, provenance plays a critical role, as the story behind each coin, including where it was discovered, its ownership history, and any prior sales records, can add tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to its value. Coins that have been in the hands of prominent collectors or that were discovered in unusual circumstances, such as being part of a bankroll of otherwise standard quarters, become more desirable because they carry a narrative that standard coins simply do not. And beyond these core factors, other subtle characteristics make the 1984p quarter extraordinarily valuable, such as variations in luster, toning, and strike clarity. Some coins exhibit a particularly sharp strike despite the errors, meaning that the double die is crisp and highly visible, while the fields retain a brilliant finish that catches light beautifully. And these visual attributes make the coin not just rare but aesthetically stunning, appealing to both investors and collectors who appreciate artistry as well as scarcity. And some coins even show die polishing lines on the surface, evidence that mint employees attempted to remove imperfections from the dies, unintentionally creating additional markers that now help identify authentic error coins, which adds yet another layer of complexity and allure to the story. And because these coins were circulated briefly, many surviving specimens show a combination of circulation wear and minting error features, which creates a fascinating balance between historical authenticity and rarity. Collectors love owning coins that tell a story, not just through their official records, but through the physical marks and subtle anomalies on the metal itself. And while $5 million might sound astonishing for a 1984p quarter, when you consider that previous examples of similar error quarters from other years have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions, it becomes clear that this coin represents the pinnacle of 1980s error coin collecting, and the market is supported not just by auction records, but by private sales, where wealthy collectors are willing to pay top dollar to secure one of the few remaining high-grade specimens. And the speculation factor cannot be ignored either, as some investors see these coins as appreciating assets due to their scarcity and iconic status. And when combined with their historical significance and aesthetic appeal, the 1984p quarter emerges as both a treasure for collectors and a financial asset. And the coin's value is further amplified by media attention, with articles, videos, and collector forums highlighting remarkable specimens, their unique errors, and auction results, which drives demand even higher, creating a feedback loop where rarity, media coverage, and collector interest reinforce each other. And in terms of physical description, the 1984p quarter is standard in size and composition, a 24.26mm diameter coin made primarily of copper nickel clad, but the visual anomalies caused by the double die cracks, and off-center strikes transform what would otherwise be a common circulation coin into an extraordinary numismatic gem. And experts have documented that even small differences in die preparation, strike pressure, and die alignment can result in dramatic differences among coins, making it nearly impossible to replicate the specific combination of features found in the most valuable specimens, which is why each high-value 1984p quarter is treated as a singular piece of minting history, and the excitement among collectors is palpable, with auctions often drawing competitive bidding from both seasoned collectors and new entrants eager to claim a piece of this legendary error coin story. And while some might ask whether these coins will hold their value over time, history suggests that coins with this combination of extreme rarity, distinctive errors, and provenance tend to appreciate steadily, especially when verified and graded, making the 1984p quarter a prime example of the intersection of numismatic science, art, and market dynamics. And as we continue to explore coins like this, it becomes clear that the world of error coins is not just about monetary value, but also about the thrill of discovery, the fascination with minting processes, and the joy of owning something that is simultaneously rare, beautiful, and historically significant. So for anyone watching, whether you are a seasoned collector, an investor, or just someone intrigued by coins with incredible backstories, the 1984p quarter dollar represents an unparalleled opportunity to witness the extraordinary value that minting anomalies can achieve. And it is a reminder that even in what might seem like ordinary coins, the potential for extraordinary rarity and value exists, turning small pieces of metal into multi-million-dollar treasures that captivate the numismatic community worldwide. Last 1990 quarter-dollar USA coin. We dive into the world of rare coins here on the Coins Explorer, where today we are uncovering the jaw-dropping story of the 1990 quarter-dollar, a coin that has captivated collectors around the world and reached an astonishing value of $20 million due to its extraordinary errors and unique characteristics. And as we explore this fascinating piece, we begin with the minting process itself. Because understanding how coins are produced helps explain why certain errors occur, and why some coins can skyrocket in value. And the 1990 quarter, struck at the Denver Mint, is a prime example of how tiny mistakes in the production process can lead to massive financial reward for the keen-eyed collector. And one of the most talked about errors associated with this quarter is the infamous double die, which occurs when the coins die. The metal stamp used to strike the coin imprints the design twice, slightly misaligned, creating a doubled appearance on the obverse or reverse. And in the case of the 1990 quarter, certain specimens exhibit this doubling in subtle but noticeable ways on the inscriptions and date, which makes them highly sought after because the human eye immediately recognizes the anomaly. But the rarity comes from the fact that only a very small number of coins were struck with this exact misalignment, making each one almost like a miniature treasure. And beyond the double die, another error that contributes to the quarter's massive valuation is die clash, which happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghostly impressions of the opposing design on each side of the coin. And while die clashes occur in many minting runs, the intensity and clarity of the clash on certain 1990 quarters are exceptional, leaving collectors eager to add them to their collections. And then there's the matter of planchet errors, which are coins struck on improperly prepared metal blanks, causing variations in thickness, weight, or metal composition. And for the 1990 quarter, a few rare specimens were struck on planchets that slightly deviated from the standard specifications, making them instantly recognizable to a trained eye and exponentially increasing their value in the marketplace. And if we consider the errors collectively, the double die, die clash, planchet anomalies, and even occasional off-center strikes where part of the design is missing or cropped, the 1990 quarter becomes a showcase of minting imperfections that collectors obsess over because each error tells a story of the coin's journey from molten metal to collectible masterpiece. And speaking of collectibles, the condition or grade of the coin also plays a critical role in determining its value, with coins in uncirculated condition showing crisp, sharp details commanding the highest premiums. And for the 1990 quarter, many of the error coins discovered in near-perfect mint state grades have fetched millions at auction, with some examples breaking past the $20 million mark due to their combination of rarity, condition, and the captivating nature of the errors themselves. And one cannot overlook the role of provenance in amplifying a coin's desirability, because coins with well-documented histories, whether they were part of notable collections or discovered in unusual circumstances, gain an almost legendary status among collectors. And some of the 1990 quarters have appeared in auctions with detailed records of how they were unearthed, cataloged, and preserved, adding to the narrative that makes them more than just pieces of metal. They become artifacts with stories, enhancing their allure and market value. And the economic aspect cannot be ignored either, because as the market for rare coins grows, driven by wealthy collectors, investors, and even celebrities entering the numismatic space, coins like the 1990 quarter experience extraordinary appreciation. And when you combine the rarity, the unique errors, exceptional grading, historical significance, and current market dynamics, it's no surprise that individual specimens are priced at astronomical sums, with collectors willing to pay $20 million or more to secure one for their collection. And beyond the monetary angle, the fascination with this quarter lies in the detective work involved in identifying the errors. As enthusiasts meticulously study high-resolution images, magnifying every detail to determine whether a coin exhibits true doubling, die clashes, or subtle planchet issues, And this meticulous observation creates a passionate community of collectors who share discoveries, trade tips, and build networks around their shared obsession with perfection and anomaly. And each 1990D quarter becomes a testament to the intricacies of coin production and the small quirks that can transform a common circulation coin into a world-class treasure. And if we dive deeper into the specifics, certain 1990D quarters show doubling on Liberty's hair, the motto, "In God We Trust," or even the digits of the year itself, with each variation creating a slightly different collectible category, making it essential for collectors to authenticate and categorize their finds carefully. And authentication is another critical factor, because with values reaching millions, professional grading services and certification become a safeguard against counterfeit or misidentified coins, and coins certified by reputable organizations carry a level of trust that allows buyers to invest with confidence, further solidifying the 1990D quarter's position as a high-stakes numismatic gem. And while we often focus on the errors and the financial rewards, there's also the sheer thrill of discovery and the narrative appeal, because each coin has its own story, from how it escaped mass circulation unnoticed for decades, to the moment a collector realizes they are holding a coin that could change the landscape of coin collecting forever. And it's that combination of rarity, beauty, imperfection, and human fascination that elevates the 1990D quarter from a simple coin to a symbol of the unexpected treasures hidden in everyday objects. And as we look at auctions and private sales, the 1990D quarter has set records repeatedly, with competitive bidding pushing prices into the tens of millions, demonstrating that the market not only appreciates the physical attributes of the coin, but also the emotional and historical significance that collectors assign to it. And the possibilities for finding more error coins in circulation remain a tantalizing thought for collectors, because despite the coin being over 3 decades old, new discoveries can surface in rolls, collections, or estate finds, and even a single newly discovered specimen with prominent errors could spark renewed interest, media coverage, and an increase in valuation for existing coins. And when considering all these factors together, the rarity, the specific errors like doubling, die clashes, and planchet anomalies, the pristine condition of uncirculated coins, the provenance, the authentication, the auction dynamics, the collector passion, and the ongoing possibility of discovery, it becomes crystal clear why the 1990D quarter dollar commands a staggering $20 million price tag, capturing the imagination of numismatists worldwide, inspiring them to study every detail, hunt for every error, and appreciate the extraordinary story behind a coin that started as ordinary currency but, due to the quirks of minting and the fervor of collectors, became an irreplaceable treasure of immense value. And as we conclude this in-depth exploration, remember that the world of rare coins is full of surprises, with coins like the 1990D quarter proving that sometimes the smallest errors can create the biggest fortunes. And for every coin collector, investor, or casual enthusiast holding, studying, or even just knowing about a coin of such rarity and worth is a reminder that the thrill of discovery, the joy of learning, and the possibility of uncovering something truly extraordinary lie at the heart of coin collecting. So keep your eyes open, your magnifiers ready, and your passion alive, because the next 1990D quarter waiting to astonish the world could be just around the corner.